How does a country with no direct military presence wield so much influence in the Middle East? Welcome to our deep dive into Iran's strategies in the region. The Middle East is a complex tapestry of nations, cultures, and political alliances. This complexity is made all the more intricate by the influence of Iran, a nation that, despite lacking a direct military presence in many countries, has managed to weave its way into the political fabric of the region. Iran's influence is not wielded through overt military might, but rather through a more subtle and indirect approach: strategic alliances, proxy warfare, and political maneuvering. This geopolitical chess game has its roots in the Islamic Revolution of 1979, when Iran redefined its role and ambitions in the region. Since then, it has been leveraging its alliances and proxies to further its regional objectives. The strategy is simple: support groups that can disrupt the status quo, and in doing so, create opportunities for Iran to step in and shape the outcomes. Take, for example, the recent rapprochement between Iran and Saudi Arabia. This development sent shockwaves through the Middle East, challenging long-standing alliances and altering the balance of power. Iran's deft diplomacy played a significant role in this shift, demonstrating its ability to influence regional affairs without resorting to direct military action. Another example is Iran's support for various non-state actors across the Middle East. By backing these groups, Iran has been able to project power and influence far beyond its borders. From Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthi rebels in Yemen, Iran's network of proxies serves as a testament to its indirect approach to regional dominance. Moreover, Iran's nuclear ambitions have been a source of concern for countries across the globe, adding another layer to its influence in the Middle East. Despite international sanctions and diplomatic efforts to curb its nuclear program, Iran continues to push the boundaries, further asserting its position in the region. As we see, Iran has managed to extend its influence far beyond its borders, shaping the Middle East's political landscape. To understand Iran's current position, we need to take a step back and look at how it all started. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 was a pivotal moment when Iran transformed from a monarchy under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi into an Islamic republic under Ayatollah Khomeini. This drastic change in regime marked the beginning of Iran's new strategic direction in the Middle East. Following the revolution, Iran found itself embroiled in a bloody conflict, the Iran-Iraq War, which lasted for most of the 80s. This war not only shaped Iran's defense and foreign policies, but also highlighted its resilience and ability to withstand a long-term conflict, setting a precedent for its future endeavors. Fast forward to the 21st century and we witness another significant event in Iran's strategy. The nuclear deal, also known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, signed in 2015. This agreement was seen as a diplomatic victory for Iran, providing it with an opportunity to reintegrate with the global economy whilst maintaining its nuclear program for peaceful purposes. However, the deal faced criticism and was eventually abandoned by the United States in 2018, leading Iran to gradually restart its nuclear activities. This event underscored the precariousness of Iran's diplomatic achievements and its ongoing struggle to balance its regional aspirations with international pressures. Now let's turn our attention to the most recent development: Iran's rapprochement with Saudi Arabia. After 7 years of severed ties, this surprising move has sent shockwaves across the Middle East. It not only signifies a shift in the regional balance of power, but also demonstrates Iran's capacity for diplomatic maneuvering. These key events, from the Islamic Revolution to the recent rapprochement with Saudi Arabia, highlight Iran's evolving strategies in the Middle East. They show a nation that has faced numerous challenges and yet continues to shape its own destiny, despite the odds. The events of the past 4 decades have set the stage for Iran's current maneuvers in the Middle East. Iran's influence in the Middle East extends far beyond its borders thanks to its network of proxies and alliances. These networks are not just geographical expansions, but also strategic moves in the grand chessboard of Middle Eastern geopolitics. Let's take Hezbollah in Lebanon as an example. Funded and armed by Iran, Hezbollah has grown from a small militia into a powerful political and military force. It's not just a proxy on the battlefield, it's a key player in Lebanon's political arena, giving Iran a direct say in Lebanese affairs. Then there's Hamas in Palestine. Iran's support for this group is a direct challenge to Israel, Iran's regional rival. By funding and arming Hamas, Iran ensures that it has a stake in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a strategic move that keeps Israel on its toes. Next, we have the Houthi rebels in Yemen. This group, backed by Iran, has been fighting a brutal war against a Saudi-led coalition. The conflict has allowed Iran to indirectly confront Saudi Arabia, its main regional competitor, and further its strategic interests in the Arabian Peninsula. Now let's not forget about Iran's relationships with countries like Syria and Iraq. In Syria, Iran has been a key supporter of President Bashar al-Assad, providing military aid and helping his government survive the civil war. In Iraq, Iran has significant influence over many Shiite militias and political groups. These relationships allow Iran to exert its influence and project its power in these countries. Through its proxies and alliances, Iran has managed to project its power across the Middle East. Whether it's Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen, Syria, or Iraq, Iran's strategic footprint can be seen, shaping the region's politics and conflicts in its favor. What does Iran's strategic positioning mean for the Middle East and the rest of the world? It's a question that's been echoing in the halls of global diplomacy for quite some time now. Iran's strategies in the Middle East have been a game changer, causing ripples that extend beyond the region's borders. For starters, Iran's alliances and proxies have stirred up the potential for conflict. The Iran-Saudi Arabia rapprochement, for instance, has caused a significant shift in Middle Eastern diplomacy. It has left Israel feeling isolated in its efforts to challenge Iran, signaling a major change in regional power dynamics. Moreover, Iran's strategies have influenced the balance of power in the Middle East. The recent harmony between Iran and Saudi Arabia, two of the region's most influential powers, is a testament to this. It's not just about Iran flexing its political muscles, it's also about how these movements can trigger a domino effect, altering alliances and causing a geopolitical shift in the region. These changes have not gone unnoticed by the global community. The world watches with bated breath as the implications of Iran's maneuvers continue to unfold. Countries around the globe are recalibrating their strategies, considering how to engage with a Middle East that is being reshaped by Iran's actions. Furthermore, Iran's strategies have implications for global security. The country's nuclear program remains a point of contention, raising concerns about nuclear proliferation and the potential for a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. These concerns have put the international community on high alert, prompting debates about the best course of action to ensure regional and global security. Iran's strategies have also affected the United States' role in the Middle East. As Iran's influence grows, the U.S. finds itself reassessing its position and approach in the region, a development that could have far-reaching implications for U.S. foreign policy. In conclusion, Iran's strategies have reshaped the Middle East with implications that reach far beyond the region. The repercussions of Iran's movements are not confined to the borders of the Middle East. They reverberate across the world, influencing global power dynamics, security concerns, and diplomatic strategies.